My name's Rob. I'm the senior pastor here at Hockessin United Methodist Church. We're just outside of Wilmington, Delaware. We are not an inner city church. We are a suburb church. I'm pretty new here. Just got here a couple months ago. So we're still learning each other's patterns and learning how we learn to engage the community for Christ. There's so many people that are in our community that are hurting, that are broken, that need the gospel of Jesus Christ. And the interesting way is finding new ways to do that. We've been in this community for a long time, and how do we now get outside the walls of the church to engage our community for Christ?
Hey, my name's Kent. I'm the lead pastor at Epic Church in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And our story starts 6 years ago. 7 of us came together around a dream to start a church that we hoped to really make a difference in our city. We looked at the city of Philadelphia and saw that there just weren't a lot of churches that were reaching certain demographics in the city, and saw that there was a huge need for that. God just really birthed a vision in our hearts to try and create the kind of place where people who were far from God could come and discover that they don't have to be. But also we wanted to create a place where Christians could come and be challenged and encouraged to actually do something with what they hear each week and live out their faith in new and more practical ways.
I started using outreach probably 12 years ago. That was 3 church assignments ago. And I was taught about bulk mailings and the importance of bulk mailings and why bulk mailings were important. And it wasn't so much that one particular mailing would be important. I heard a speaker one time saying, you know, is it this card? Is it this card? Is it this card? And I realized that it's all of the cards put together. And the importance of kind of budgeting for a mailing, and the importance of that. The importance of a mailer going out at certain times of the year when non-church or seekers are looking to maybe engage in a Christian community.
We've grown to 3 campuses throughout the city, and we're looking to add two more campus locations over the next year. And it's just been really neat. I mean, I think initially when we first started, we were just glad people were showing up, and we thought that was amazing. But now I look back over the last 6 years, and it's just such a testimony of the scripture that says that God can do just so much more than we could ever ask or dream or imagine. Like, we've seen that happen. Like, that's the story of our church. Like, God's just done so much more than we could have ever asked or dreamed or imagined. It's not just about numbers, it's about the people.
And everywhere I've been, whenever church I've been in, we've used outreach and we've used the bulk mailing. And it's gotten better and better over the years. We can use the mailer to target specific mail routes now. We can use the imagery that's already there. The great thing about outreach is there's a whole group of experts at my beck and call. They're marketing gurus, they're graphic gurus, folks that I wouldn't necessarily have in the church or I wouldn't have as a resource. One of the problems that we have as pastors is that we always have a to-do list. There's always something. There's always an emergency or something coming up. And utilizing outreach services has been a way to take some of that stuff off of my plate as a pastor and acknowledge that there's others that are experts in this area, and lets me get back to doing the things that I know God has called me specifically to do.
So when we started, there were 7 of us, and we're in the middle of this city with 1.5 million people, and we're thinking to ourselves, how are we going to let everybody know that we even exist, you know? And that's where outreach enters the story. We're actually able to work with them to get a mailing list so that we could send postcards or invites to our church to a targeted demographic of people. And what's helpful about that is we couldn't send invites to 1.5 million people. But outreach was able to help us narrow down who we sent those postcards to the group of people that we thought would be most likely to respond to our kind of church here in the city. And that was just a huge, huge help. At the end of the day, I think the thing I appreciate most about what outreach does and how they help me as a pastor of a church is that it's really just another tool that I have in my toolkit to be able to connect with people outside the church and invite them to a place where they can hear about Jesus and hear about God and how He can change their life.